Hey friends, it's Julie, and one of my goals this year is to share new content every Friday, and I'm not gonna lie, that kind of stresses me out. I have videos planned. I won't say that I'm not prepared. I have video ideas, I have everything like that. However, when it really comes down to like presenting the information in a logical, concrete way, that's probably not one of my strong suits, and I'm really picky about how I want it presented. So there's just kind of constant battle in my head of like, here's how I need to break the information down, and then another part of me that's just like the creative that's like bing bong bing bong. So I wanted to let you know I have taken inspiration from one of my favorite YouTubers that's totally non-planner related. Her name is Garden Answer, and she has an awesome channel all about gardening, and she happens to be in my same climate, so I can learn a lot of information about which plants work and which don't. But anyway, the whole premise is that like she puts up a ton of content and basically just walks us through whatever project she's working on in her garden. And I love that, and I just kind of feel like she's a friend that I get to meet for coffee in the morning and learn from. And so my hope is that as I just share things that I'm working on inside my planner, that would be kind of the same type of relationship. So that's what I'm doing today. It's 2020, and I have already done some cleaning this week in my focus areas, but I have not switched over to my new sheets. So I'm just going to kind of speed through the process, chat a little bit about it with you, and let you know how I set this up and kind of explain a little bit more about like where my inspiration came from. So let's get started. One of the things that I rarely do is to show you the process from like actual print to cut to getting into my planner. And so I thought I would show, if you've never purchased a printable from me, this is kind of what you can expect, particularly for the A5. You can see the little crop marks on the side, and those are guides showing you where you should trim your pages in order to get it to the exact right size. It's really important that when you print, you select like actual size or scale to 100% when you're printing, so that it actually does the full. Sometimes your printer will try to shrink it down or make it larger to fit your page, so you just have to be careful about that. So I usually start with my page facing me, and I do this right-hand side cut. One of the things I've tried to do is to add a slight gray line here at the bottom. Oops, you can't see. I'm down here at this bottom corner. Like if I add a straight line coming this way, it serves as a final cut guide, and it's a little bit lighter than the others, so that if you don't hit it straight on and it's still a part of your page, it's not a big deal. I see that I do not have that on the cleaning note, so I'll jot a note to myself to add that and to get that updated into the files. I am actually trimming 5 pages right now, which is kind of a lot. I usually do around 4, but my trimmer is cutting just fine. And you can see I just rotate basically clockwise, I guess, to continue those cuts. And here's where we run into our first like little issue, and comment below and let me know if this is frustration to you or if you have a workaround. But basically we've cut off all of the trim marks now. Like I've gone through and I've cut them all off. So that is that little light gray line that I'm talking about. It would be added right here as a final trim mark. It's super light colored, so it might pull your eyes out a little bit, but normally it would be right there to show where you should make your final cut. However, for me, I just want to show you, like if you have a trimmer and you don't mind doing this, I took like a Sharpie marker and just started to mark out some of my own guidelines. So I know I use A5 and personal sizes, so I have basically those lines here written right onto my trimmer that I can just line my papers up against to make those final cuts. That's a workaround that I have, but I recognize that maybe you don't all have the same exact setup as me, so I will, like I said, come back and try to add that final guideline there. Here we go, we've got all the pages trimmed to A5, ready to go. Okay, you're gonna see a couple things. I had washed dog bed and water fiddle leaf fig. The fig has moved to a different location in our home, and the dog bed has as well. But here's just the basic things, and I feel like I just want to stop here and say, like, obviously these things are based on your home. You don't have a mantle, you don't add that, but that's what I wanted to just keep this really flexible. If I were to type in options for you here, I feel like that would be irritating because I hate having something there that I actually don't do. It makes me feel like I'm not getting it done. So writing these in. However, having said that, if you purchase this and would like me to customize yours to like type in your actual list, let me know. I feel like I could do that for a couple dollars extra or something, just if you are really adamant about like hating your handwriting or something, let me know. That's something that I could work on. But here I'm going to come through and just go ahead and indicate the things that I did. I'm green. I dusted those things. Okay, so I didn't get all of them done this week, but I know that my son cleaned the baseboards and mopped the floors. I vacuumed. So I still have those things. I don't think there is an adjustment that we need to do. This is seasonal, like as it gets lighter or darker, we extend or shorten the timers of our lamps, but I actually could probably just say like, not this month, don't need it. So flipping over, and a lot of these things honestly get done week to week. It's not always like wiping out the sink is not something that I only do once a month, but I for sure hit it that day. Okay, I'll pause here and kind of make an explanation too. Some of these things, like I said, are things that I do every week, so it doesn't necessarily mean that they're only getting hit. Some of them, like clean out fridge, I try every week to kind of get rid of things that are outdated, but this is more of like a wipe down the shelves. And then some of these, like cleaning the glass on the cabinet doors, I don't necessarily even need to do that every month, but at least if I hit it once a quarter, this can help guide. So that's what I do like about tracking like this. If I just had this list like in my cleaning caddy, I might feel the need to do everyone every month, or like, oh, what did I do it last? This is supposed to answer that for me. Well, I last did it in January, so maybe it can wait till April, whatever. So it kind of allows me, ideally, to gauge that. Oh, and then like dishwashing the dogs' and cats' dishes. Obviously, we probably do it more than once a month, but just to make sure it's getting done, because oftentimes we just refill, and it can get a little schmucky. So just making sure that that's for sure getting done. A lot of times little crumbs will show up in our drawers, and that drives me nuts. Like we have a toaster that I tend to put inside a drawer because I don't want it out on the counter, and so then all the crumbs from the toaster come. So I love to vacuum that drawer out. It just makes it feel fresh and clean and not gross. This is another one that our cat will come and loves to sit like under the table, but on the chairs. And our cat, if you haven't seen Brady, he's a fur ball. So there's always fur on those chairs, and like we'll have guests over, they sit down and then their seats are like covered in gray fur. So I do try to hit that at least once a month. Tidying and reorganization of the pantry is definitely not something that needs to get done every month as far as reorganization. Tidying, yes. Reorganization, no. So, but again, I like to see it here so I can at least see when I last did it. Looks like September I hit everything really hard, if you can see that previous sheet. So, you know, it's due. All of these things are due. Here's what we got done this week so far. Okay, so we're doing pretty well for the month, or, you know, for January. There are a few things though that I can hit, and this is perfect because basically there's different members of my family and we get different colors, and ideally everyone that lives in this house should show up on these color charts. It's not entirely my responsibility to do all of this. Having said that, I tend to do it at a level of which I admire, and I'm not entirely sure that everyone would accomplish it to that same degree. Yeah. So I need to let some of that control go, obviously, but the idea would be that it would be sprinkled around. You know, my son would be helping with more than just one of these chores, but it's a work in progress for us. I don't remember if I slid this on or off camera, so I want to mention it now. Like, I definitely recommend after you've washed coming through and slitting each of these. I've already done it, so I don't really want to do it again, but that allows you to get it in and out of your planner very easily. I have this pink tab here that sends me straight to this area. And then after this week is done for January, I will put it to the back and cycle through the next week as it comes up. One more thing, I do tend to keep old inserts. I have like books that I have on my shelves that house like 2015, 16, 17. One thing that I noticed in some of those is that I didn't date everything with the year, and I think I have most of them in the right place, but some things I grouped by topic instead of by year. So that's the last thing that I would probably come through and do, and this stamp would actually be a good one. Oh, not this one, where'd it go? I mean, this one could work, the 2020, but I'm actually looking for something a little bit lighter like this. And I think it would be smart for me to do like 2020 somewhere on the insert so that I just have that reference. But I feel like I just kind of want a really soft 2020 up here in the corner. And I'll probably color coordinate to that as well. So since I've used aqua on this page, I will do my aqua ink, which I have sitting out here. And I will just let that be super soft. Cleaning is already really soft, so it's gonna be kind of busy there, but there. Cleaning and 2020 together, friends, yes. Could also do it over here in this corner if you don't want the overlap, but that looks fine to me. Okay, so last year the garage, patio, and bonus room are all on a week, and I did those with that coral color. This year I'll switch that to green just to shake it up because I don't use green. And then, so I'll go ahead and I will stamp 2020 in green at the top. I'm kind of working backwards on this one. Oh, another tip I have about that is that I like, if I've used a highlighter with one color, see, look at that. I like to wipe it off because it can show up when you're, if I'm using a ruler with a highlighter, it does pick up a little bit of the color, so it's really wise to wipe it off. I use baby wipes to clean my stamps, so I have those handy, so that's what I use for this as well. So I'm curious, do you guys keep your old inserts? Like, would you keep something from 2019 as a reference guide, or would you be inclined to toss them at the end of the year? I'm not sure, I'm a little bit torn on that. This one, because I was so inactive in 2019 on these sheets, I don't feel inclined. It's almost like an embarrassment to keep it. But like I said, hopefully some of that is just me having done the task and not marking it down. Just curious how you guys feel about that. So, and then this one, the green, it kind of makes sense to me to do, like, they're kind of the outside things. So I'm gonna do those. This is kind of a light week for us in the winter time because we're not really doing much in our garage or patio, and then it would just be able to focus up a little bit more on our bonus room upstairs. And then, okay, so here's another thing is that I have this notes, and I like to draw this, like, as I'm cleaning, that's like when I get the most inspiration of, like, what do I need to get done in my house? And in fact, I told my husband it's like kind of dangerous for me to clean because I get a lot of ideas about decor or about projects that we should do. So for instance, we have some shelving around TV we need to do in our bonus room, need to get some new pillows, you know, just all these ideas that come to my mind as I'm cleaning. I like to have a place to write them down. Okay, I thought of something here that's worth mentioning. I was going through our upstairs and I actually separated out cleaning windows inside and cleaning windows out because there are two different things. And I, instead of feeling like I actually need to wash the windows every month outside, I think it's worth just drawing a line around the box of the month that you aim to do it in. I know we get our windows washed usually in May. Sometimes we do it another time closer to the fall. I'm not entirely sure what month that will be, but just adding that little concept too. Like maybe instead of keeping a list for things that only need to get done once or twice a year, go ahead and incorporate them here, but really highlight the months that you expect to get the task done. So I have thought about moving these up towards the end of the month in my planner because basically I go through each of these every month, but I think I'll just leave them back here. I can spot them easily with my pink tab. But here we go. I have only been in 1 week of 2020 yet, so that's the only week that should have any marks. I have gone ahead and drawn some scratches across things that just aren't applicable yet for those particular months. That lets me know not to worry about it. I still have some notes for projects that we need to get done that I still haven't done. And other than that, I think that explains it pretty well. I hope that gives you a little peek inside my planner in a really practical, tangible way, kind of giving you a glimpse at what I do. And I want to mention too, I take my entire planner, or like at least just the sheet that applies for each week, and I'll lay this out on the kitchen table. Not only maybe sometimes will I actually assign those tasks to someone else, but even just having seen them there, my husband is really good. Like if he sees that that's something that I want to get done, he's really quick to help me on that. If I just keep this tucked away in my planner and I'm the only one thinking about it, then it may or may not get done. So I would mention that as well, just to kind of hold yourself accountable by actually taking that out of your planner, sticking it out there for others to see, and to remind yourself too, so it's not tucked away too far inside. That's again the beauty of having those slits in there. You can take it out of your planner easily and leave it out where you can see it. All right, I hope you guys have a great week. I will see you next Friday with a new video. Thanks for watching. Take care.